What's going on, guys? It's the One Round Raccoon. Today we are here with a figure that I've been waiting months for. It got delayed. I kept a tab on my browser open and kept refreshing it, trying to find it every day. As soon as I heard that it was a thing, as soon as I saw the first one in the line, and I was like, oh, I gotta have it. I gotta have it. Couldn't find it anywhere. And by chance, when I went shopping with Synergy, long time watchers remember Synergy. My old best friend, we opened cards and stuff. She stole my luck, all that mean stuff. But yeah, if you've watched the channel for a while, you'll remember Synergy. We don't really record as much anymore because she's a nurse, so busy. But we went out shopping for my birthday, which was March 19th. It was a little bit before that, like a week or two before. And she offered to get me a gift. Originally, we were gonna get Pokemon cards. I think we were gonna do something like maybe open them or what have you. But we went to Target, and I saw they finally had the Jazwares Articulated Rayquaza Figure, and I was like, it's 20 bucks. Oh my god, I want this. And she said, go ahead and get that. I'll buy it for you. That's your birthday gift. Happy birthday. So, woo! I'm excited. I've been eyeing this for a bit. I'm ready to open it. I've been wanting to. I want to open this a little bit sooner, but as I've kind of mentioned in some past videos now, I am moving. I have closed on my house yesterday. This is April 2nd now, so April 1st, no jokes. I closed on a house. So I should be moving sometime soon. I'm probably going to do a video of reminiscing all on the display here. Because that's all going to be taken down and moved and then put back up in a new way. I don't know how I'm going to do it or if I'm going to replicate more or less how I had this, but have more space to kind of spread stuff out. I don't know. But, yes, all that aside, we are here with this figure. I am excited. It took me a second to kind of fiddle with it to figure out how it works, but bro, this is so cool. I like it. The stand is pretty good. It also comes with a stand, you can see here, so you can really get him in some dynamic poses, which I'll kind of show off how he works here in a bit. And I'll show off the box too. And here he is with his little son. I thought I should get this as the McDonald's figure from a couple years back of Rayquaza. So I thought I should bring him in just to have a comparison of what we've had in the past to what we have now. Probably the best Rayquaza figure we have. I know there's a little model kit, but I think this one definitely beats that out. I don't really have any other Rayquaza figures except like the little doohickeys, and I have you can kind of see him out of focus up here. The Rayquaza statue from Shining Fates or what have you. I don't remember now. Or Shining Legends. I'm using the mat right now because they're Shining Rayquaza. And so I have those. He is actually bigger than that in all proportions, and obviously he can be articulated. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this. And remember, if you say Rayquaza, you can never talk to him or his son ever again. It's Rayquaza. If you say Rayquaza, you're wrong. If you say Rayquaza, don't talk to me or my son ever again. Got it? Got it. Good. So I'm gonna move little Ray out of here. Move him down here. So we're bringing Big Papa Ray here. I'll show off the box a bit first, so you see what else is in this line. They have a Charizard, which is pretty neat. I like the Charizard. Rayquaza, of course, the one I really wanted. Greninja, which I think he's the only one that actually has like proper effect parts. I don't believe Charizard came with anything. I don't remember. I don't think he did. And so you get like little water shurikens, which is neat. And then the Articuno, which I actually want to get too. I really want that one. Pardon me, need to sip. But Articuno is really nice. I'm hashtag Team Mystic for life, even though I don't play Pokemon Go anymore. But I love Articuno. He's blue. I've always liked him more. Zapdos is also my boy. Don't get me wrong, I love me some Zapdos, but I gotta give it to Articuno, even though he's, I think, the second worst, or the worst. I think Moltres is still technically worse, but whatever. I want him to, so maybe I'll do a video on that later if I end up scooping him, because when I have the new place, I'll have more space to put everything, so yeah, boy. But as we can see here, he comes in this box. He's all folded in there nice and neat. I'm going to have to put him back in there because, like I said, I'm moving soon. So these are like the opening and put in boxes, and I'll probably display them later. But now we get into Big Ray himself. I'm going to take him off the stand for now so I can actually fiddle with him. And if you pose him right, he can kind of just sit on his own. Like, you can get him to do it. He probably won't let me do it now. It's going to be a little wonky, but he can kind of balance himself. Depending on how, like, there you go. So you turn him around this way and kind of like have him, okay. I'll show you how all the joints work here in a bit. Like if you have him sitting like that, he can kind of coil in on himself and what have you. But so yeah, basically every segmented part of his body is on a swivel there, so you can turn everything. And you can really stretch him out. Let's see how far I can actually, like, I think he's like 17 inches all the way outward. Like, if you completely stretch him out, so you get the snake. So like he's basically the length of my table. If he flattened out, he would go over the edge of my table here that I used to record. But yeah, every little doohickey, and that's his port. So you want to make sure that's down when you have him in this pose. And you can, like, how I was trying to get him, you can twist him around, have him all lengthed out. You can even get in that flying pose. For being a giant snake and just being long and that's it, you can really get him in some classic poses of Rayquaza. If you have different stands or some way to hold him up, you could easily have him kind of flying in the air, if you will, and like use, like, I know some people like use like fishing line and stuff to suspend stuff from the ceiling. You could easily have him just scrolling across the sky like that, or have him wrapped around something, or whatever. Kind of like what I do with my plush. I have like the Rayquaza and the shiny Mega Rayquaza plushes. And I usually, since they're so long and big, I kind of wrap them around, that's what she said. I wrap them around other bigger plushes I have, so they kind of like rest on the top, kind of like a hat, like a snake, a scarf even. Because, I mean, that's kind of what he is. You could definitely wear this as a scarf. And then his arms, got a nice like little butterfly there. I think I have his arm joint backwards. Let's see if I can turn it around. He got a nice bicep swivel. His arms could really go, like, extend out, like really hyper extend out that way if you want him to have a broken arm. Nice hand articulation, so you can get like slashing, what have you, or he's grabbing at stuff. No finger articulation, which is kind of It would have been nice if you could, like, close his fists or what have you, but it's no big deal. It really isn't. It's not that big a deal. I think it's focusing on the box. I'm gonna move that. It's no big deal that he doesn't. That's with both hands. He can move his neck up and down real nice. His head can also like move up more, like that, so you can kind of get him like in a rushing down pose. And all these tights are joints. All these joints are tight. So I was like, when I was pre-filming and getting accustomed to how he moves, I was really scared that I was doing it wrong and I thought I was gonna break it. But you just gotta go with it and just find, like, it's basically these parts, his little segment, I don't know, his fin parts, they don't move. It's everything around them. His tail does also spin around, so you can make it accurate to whatever he's doing. Like I said, you can have him up, you can have him crawling on the ground like a snake, because that's what he do. Like, yeah, you never saw it coming. The paint's also really good. The yellow circles look real nice. The red, I'm pretty sure he's just straight molded out of green plastic, which, I mean, I would assume so, because he's 90% green. He's got his little teeth, his little teethers. Let's get him to focus here. He got nice teeth. His mouth looks good. I kind of wish there was some, like, jaw articulation so he could kind of open his mouth and close it. But given Rayquaza is never really ever seen with his mouth closed, it doesn't really matter. I think in every art, every figure, everything of Rayquaza, he very rarely, if ever, has his mouth shut. So it doesn't really matter. It would have been nice to have, but because kind of like to show you the mat here, he kind of have his mouth a bit closed in that kind of depiction. But 9 times out of 10, he looks like this. The figure I had, like the statues, his mouth is open. Even little Ray Jr. He has mouth articulation. What is this? Why does he have? Look, I never noticed that. Focus up, bro. Yeah. So it could have been done, but I mean, this is literally the only thing that this one doesn't have. I can live without. Because like I said, most times he has an open mouth, he's roaring, he's shooting hyper beams point blank at Deoxys' face or being on his turf. It don't mean a thing. It's fine. I'm okay with not having it. Would it have been nice? Sure. But also thankfully, his fins and his head fins or his horns or whatever you want to call them, they're a soft plastic, so you don't have to really be as worried about potentially breaking them, because like I said, they flex pretty well. I'm not going to sit here and try to flex them all around, but all the points that really stick off of him, even kind of his fingers, you can see here his fingers, they're slightly, I wouldn't play with his fingers too much, but they are slightly rubbery, so they have some give. So I actually like that a lot, because when I was taking him out of the box, I was being very careful, because I know, like, with the Shining Legends figures, those statues rather, there were many of them. Like, I saw one in the box that literally looked like someone just took the thing and just shook it around and spiked it on the ground. He was just a bunch of pieces. I know these would be easily broken in transit, so I like that they went the route that they gave the parts that are the most easily broken something to keep them from breaking. And see, that makes him look more like, look at that. Yeah, he's so happy to be here. I love he's so menacing looking and just badass, but at the same time he looks goofy and cute. He's just happy. He's like, come on, give me a hug. He wants a hug, bro. Hug him. And you can hug his son. There you go. There you go. Dad. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Beautiful. Family portrait. And then in comparison to other figures, I know this would make no sense, but here is the Lightning Collection Morphed Raphael. They actually, just kind of how they are, Rayquaza stands a little bit taller, not including his horns, just by sake of how he is. And then you can see just comparison to the whole body. It probably wouldn't be the most fitting thing to put next to Rayquaza, because I'm pretty sure the Rangers would be a little smaller than that. But to cover that front too, here is Easy 8, my easy peasy, beautiful cover robo that I use because he's the easiest one for me to grab off my case, hence the name. And he fits pretty, again, they stand about the same height. Easy 8's a little shorter, which would mean most of the Gundam Universe line will be a little shorter than this guy. But you could make something up. You could put it like where Rayquaza's up in the sky and they're having a beef or something, because these guys do be up, the Gundams do be in the sky and be in space and stuff, and that's Rayquaza's home turf. And you saw what happened to Deoxys. That man got murked. It got 2 Deoxys that showed up in that show, and Rayquaza showed no hesitation, 0 to 100, was taking them cheeks left, right, and center. But he fits pretty well with other figures. It's gonna be a little weird. I grabbed him. The other little Pokemon figures, stuff, I actually have a Groudon that's just sitting right there. He fell off up here, so I just set him over there with my Gurren Lagons and stuff. He would, I think he would fit pretty well. Like, I'll go snag him real quick just because he's right here. This is I think like the original Groudon figure, because he used to have a blast effect, which I remember I lost because I shot it in the car and it went into the little place where the seatbelt comes out of and fell all the way in there, and I just accepted, well, that's gone forever. But I don't think this is the most accurate comparison to their sizes, but you could do well. And like I said, he is pretty big, so he might take up some shelf space. But you can also fold him up a bit, like curl him, like how I had in the original, where he's just kind of wrapped in on himself, more reserved. And you could just slap him right back on there. Ta-da. And have him in a pretty, like, classic Rayquaza pose. He is kind of tall, so I gotta finagle that. And I would turn his tail up just a bit, just to be like a more Rayquaza-esque pose. I think his arms are a bit out. Usually he kind of keeps them a bit closer to his chest. Kind of like his grabby hands. There you go. He really is tall. He's looking up. Let's see if I'm going to look down a bit. There we go. So I can say hi to the camera. Hi. But I think he's a really nice. I just want to keep playing with it. I want to keep twisting it around and seeing what I can do with it. Curl him around. I like it. I like it a lot for Rayquaza. My favorite Pokemon, if you didn't know, Rayquaza is my favorite Pokemon. Blue Eyes is my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card, etc., etc. I love me some dragons. I prefer them if they're blue, but you can't go bad with Big Green, the green dragon himself, the boy, the OG Gen 3 king. I'm happy with it. It's really like look what we could have had. And the only real thing missing is his jaw articulating, I guess finger articulation. Sure, we could have had that, but is that really necessary? No, he has his mouth open. He's always doing the 3-claw thing anyway. So, does it really matter? Are you going to have him holding something? Why would you? He's a dragon. He'd fire beam and slap with tail. He don't need to hold nothing. If you can find this, I think they're $19.99. Very, very worth it. This whole line is pretty affordable. And for being a $20 figure of a big snake, they really made it have personality. His eyes pop. The paint's really good. The way look at his face, especially like at an angle or whatever. The colors all match up right. He looks good. You can get him into basically all the classic Rayquaza poses that you want. Might need a little finagling because you got to make sure he's balanced and maybe have some other supports here and there if you really want to get him into something crazy, like the flight poses I mentioned. But overall, I think he's fine with how he is. Like I said, we could have just only had this. This could have been it. Nothing against little McDonald Ray here, but he do be struggling to do. There we go, buddy. He's learning. He's learning. There we go. Just sit there, buddy. There you go. So like what we could have had to what like it's you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. But if you like these figures, I would definitely go support Jazwares. They're at Target. Go buy them. I think these are a very nice line. I like those other packs, like those evolution line packs where you can get like the static figures, or they're basically statues, but they have like limited articulation of stuff, of like the EV line, this and that. Those figures are nice, but I like having a bigger figure that I can really play with and move around, similar to like my Gundams, my Lightning collection, all this, where I can really play it around, especially with someone like Rayquaza. Again, he is just a snake, he's just long, but the fact they were able to really encapsulate Rayquaza in his looks, how he moves, is really worth it. There could have been more to it, I guess, like maybe ball joints here to have him like really lay flat or whatever, but even in the cutscenes where he's seen flying, he's very rarely ever straight. Only in his mega form do we really see him like fly as a straight line. So, and why would you pose him as a straight line when he could be more dynamic like this? Anyway, if you like what you see, leave a like down below and subscribe for more content like this, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and figure reviews sprinkled in between. And I've been the one, Round Raikou. And remember, if you say Rayquaza, don't talk to me or my son ever again. And I'll see you next time.